Hi, Haley here. Today I'm going to demonstrate the two-strand cast-on. The two-stranded cast-on is similar in structure to the long-tail cast-on, but the advantage is that you won't run out of yarn if you have a lot of stitches to put on your needle. However, you will end up with a couple extra tails to weave in, but this can be the lesser evil, again if you have quite a few stitches and face the possibility of running out of yarn in the middle of your cast-on. As it sounds, the two-strand cast-on starts with 2 strands of yarn. I have contrasting colors here to demonstrate the technique a little bit better, but most of the time you'll be using 2 strands of the same yarn so that it just blends into your work. Looks like a regular cast-on. However, if you are doing some sort of color work, this is something that you can use a contrast yarn with to give a little bit of a decorative edge to your work, so that's something to think about there. So I'm going to put the 2 tails together here, and then leave, about an 8-inch length, 8-inch tail on each one of those, and then I'm going to make a slip knot together with the 2 of them. I'm going to take my needle and put that on there, and then just tighten that. Something that's important to remember about this is that, like the long tail cast-on, the strand that is in the front is the one that loops around the bottom of the cast-on. So if you were using a contrasting yarn, this is where you would choose your contrast to go to sit in the front to go over your thumb. So I'm going to grab the 2 of those and then put my fingers in between, just like I do with the long tail. And hold this on with your index finger over here so it doesn't slip off. So I'm going to go up the thumb, down the index finger, and then back toward me. Let that tighten. Up the thumb, down the index finger, and back toward me. Do just a few more here. Right, so you can see my contrast is running along the bottom there, and then my back color, the one that went over my index finger, is the one that actually puts the loops on the needle. But I do still have this slip knot here that has the 2 strands together. You don't necessarily want to count that one as a stitch. I usually drop that off when I get to it, so that way I don't have the knot in my work. If you're working flat, you're only going to need, well actually, unless you're doing some sort of color work where you're going to need both colors together, you're going to want to cut the front strand here. So, this is difficult to do with a camera, to cut that. And then I'm going to continue on working with my back strand right here. So if I were working in rows, I would turn around and work back across these and then drop this off when I get to it. If I'm working in the round, just pretend that I've filled my whole needle with stitches here. Before joining to work in the round, I would go ahead and drop this off right here. I like to leave the slip knot in just so that it sort of keeps that cast-on strand put and secured, but not permanently so, until I've knitted a couple of rounds, and then it can go ahead and you can take that out. But see how if I do that, then it kind of gets a little bit loose. So that's about all there is to it. Give it a try and see if you like it. Thank you very much, and happy stitching.